Service, friends. I am Orpheus Praxis. Welcome to my channel. Today we enter a space where the familiar words being and non-being begin to unfold. It may seem simple. Things arise, exist, disappear. But if we look more closely, behind this simplicity lies a trap of thought. Absolute being, absolute non-being, both of these poles collapse as soon as we try to reconcile them with our experience. Buddhist masters said, that which seems eternal cannot withstand change. That which seems absolutely absent cannot explain the arising of the world. Even modern philosophers and physicists come to the same conclusion. No reality exists by itself. So where is the truth? It is in the middle path. In seeing things as they truly are, dependent on conditions, free from extremes. In this view, there is no illusion of eternity, eternalism, but also no void of nihilism. There is only the interdependent flow of reality. And it is into this flow that we now enter. All this, a conversation with our guests.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something pretty fundamental, a question that's, well, been around forever. What does it truly mean for something to exist or not exist?
Right, it sounds simple, but it gets complicated fast.
Exactly. We're using a really interesting reflection, being and non-being, beyond extremes. And our mission basically is to unpack how things come about, stick around, and then disappear without getting stuck in, super rigid boxes.
Yeah, moving beyond just is or is not.
Before arising, there is absence. Before absence, there is arising. Before both, there is being.
Wow, okay. Deep start.
Right, so how do we even start to unravel concepts like that? Where does Priest begin?
Well, he kicks things off by looking at existence from two main angles. Relative and absolute. Getting these two is like the first key step.
Okay, relative and absolute. Let's take relative existence first. What's the idea there? Is it like things just popping up?
Not exactly popping up from nothing. Relative existence isn't about absolute creation. It's more about emergence, transformation. Priest uses a great example. A clay vase. The vase exists, sure, but its existence is relative. It emerged from the clay.
So it depends on something that was already there, the clay.
Precisely. It's a new form, a new phenomenon, but it's made of pre-existing stuff. Not a totally new substance, just a new arrangement.
Okay, that makes sense. So if that's relative, then absolute existence must be, what, something totally new?
Yeah.
Created from scratch.
Exactly. Absolute existence is the idea of creating a genuinely new entity, something that truly never existed before in any form.
Like truly new.
Yeah. Priest gives the example, often found in theology, of God as the creator, bringing things like light, space, people into being. It's that kind of fundamental creation.
Okay.
And a crucial point Priest makes is that any kind of existence, whether relative or absolute, can only really emerge if there was a non-existence before it.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. If something always existed, how could it arise? The very concept of arising or emerging implies it wasn't there before.
Right. It needs that contrast. Okay, so my mind immediately goes to the opposite. What if everything always existed? Did Priest consider that view, this idea of eternalism?
Oh, absolutely. He calls it eternalism, the claim that everything just is, absolutely exists, self-sufficient, unchanging.
Does he think that holds up?
No, he argues strongly against it. Eternalism just can't explain reality as we experience it. Things changing, appearing, disappearing, interacting.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about anger. If anger always existed in some absolute unchanging way, how could you feel it come and go? How could your consciousness perceive it? Or shift from anger to, say, joy? It just breaks down. An immutable consciousness couldn't perceive changing objects either.
Okay, so eternalism doesn't work because things clearly do change. We see emergence and disappearance all the time. What about the other extreme then? Absolute non-existence.
Right, the flip side. Absence, as another word for non-being. And like existence, he splits it into two types.
Okay.
First, there's relative non-existence. This doesn't mean something is absolutely, utterly gone forever.
How so?
His example is apples on a tree. In spring, you might say the apples don't exist yet. In winter, they no longer exist.
Yeah.
But we don't mean apples as a concept are absolutely non-existent.
No, of course not. They just aren't on that tree right now. The potential is still there.
Exactly. Their absence is relative to time or place. So what's absolute non-existence then? It's for phenomena that have never arisen, don't exist now, and literally never will. The son of a barren woman.
Okay. That's logically impossible. It can't exist anywhere, not in reality, not even as a coherent illusion.
Correct. It has no basis, no potential. It's absolute non-being.
So what happens if someone falls into the trap of saying everything is like that nothing really exists?
Nihilism. The claim that all phenomena absolutely do not exist.
And the problem with that is?
If you claim absolute non-existence for everything, how do you explain the relative existence we clearly see and interact with every day? like the chair you're sitting on or the sound of my voice.
Yeah, it contradicts our basic experience.
And it makes causality invalid, too. If nothing truly exists, how can one thing cause another? How can actions have consequences? Nihilism basically pulls the rug out from under observed reality.
Okay, so we've looked at these two big extremes, absolute existence, eternalism on one side, and absolute non-existence, nihilism on the other. Where does that leave us? What's the takeaway?
This is where it gets really powerful. Priest's conclusion is that by freeing ourselves from getting stuck in either of these extremes, this all or nothing, thinking, we can actually remove what he calls the veil of ignorance.
The veil of ignorance.
Yeah.
What does lifting that reveal?
It reveals suchness, or tathata in Sanskrit. It's seeing the true nature of reality. It's understanding things as they actually are, dynamic, interconnected, constantly emerging and ceasing, without being rigidly fixed as absolutely existing or absolutely non-existing.
So the reality isn't about picking a side between always is and never is. It's about seeing this flow, this middle way, maybe. Recognizing that things arise, they persist for a while, dependent on conditions, and then they cease.
Exactly. It's a more nuanced, dynamic truth. It liberates us from those really rigid binary concepts.
That's a really profound way to look at it. It moves beyond simple labels.
And maybe, just to leave you with something to think about, consider how often, maybe in daily life, our own understanding gets limited by similar all or nothing traps. You know, thinking something is always bad or never possible.
Yeah.
So the question to maybe mull over is, where else might this idea of suchness, this reality beyond fixed extremes, apply when you observe the world around you? Once you try to let go of those absolute is and is not labels.
That's a great question to ponder. A really fascinating deep dive today. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Keep exploring these ideas, and we'll catch you next time.
Subscribe to walk this path together with us. I am Orpheus Praxis, wishing you all clarity. Namaste.